All right, guys, you just negotiated your repairs. Appraisal looks good. Buyer's ready to move forward. Now what do? It's closing day. Closing day is coming. That's when you get paid. That's when you're making all of your money. That is the funnest part of this process, is seeing your project go from start to finish. So there are a couple items in the closing day that you want to remember. Number one, I recommend that you have your own title company. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to go into a little bit more in depth on the title company. So a title company is the attorney that you choose to close your transaction. Some states have a title company, some states have an attorney. Depending on what your state is, will dictate where you go. I recommend you have your own versus your realtor choosing for you. I also recommend that you try and get both sides to close together. The reason for that is it makes it a lot easier for you to understand what's going on the other side of the transaction. They're wiring money directly to your title company, so you know when the funds are there. And really, it just makes it an all-around easier process. I have found with my title company that I have worked with for many years, the communication and the process is just so much simpler. When I use anybody else, it just does not go that simple. So I definitely recommend picking out a title company that you would enjoy. So have your title company, closing comes. What do you need to look for? Well, you want to look for a HUD or ALTA, okay? And an ALTA or a HUD statement is a closing statement that shows all the information about the property. It's going to have your taxes, how much closing cost you're paying for the buyer, what your payoff is if you have one, and how much money at the end of the day you're making. You want to make sure that you've checked that over a couple of days before closing. I usually like to get mine at least 24 hours before my closing date to make sure everything looks good. That way, when I walk into the closing table, all I get is smiles from the amount of money that I just made on my first project.